Hi guys, Greg Doyle here for Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat, of that name. Come with another prediction video today in reference to this weekend's unified world middleweight title fight between Danny Jacobs and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Today's prediction video, I'm just going to give a little bit of what I think my take will be in the fight, how I see it all going, just as we do, as you know how the videos work now. So I'll get right into it. So this Saturday, those guys meet who they've had great careers so far. Jacobs currently world champion, won a lot of tough fights, lost some really tough close fights, which we'll cover off. And also Canelo, who just seems to be going from strength to strength, to be honest. Looking at Danny Jacobs, first of all, what I would say about Danny Jacobs is Danny Jacobs seems to be one of these guys, the longer his career has went on, he's got better, which really surprises you, especially after the cancer and everything and how he's came back like an absolute warrior. I don't think anybody could ever credit Danny Jacobs high enough. Looking at his career, would we have said all those years ago after getting knocked out by Pirog, would he get to where he's got to? I'd say probably not, because for me there was big question marks over Danny Jacobs' chin after that fight. It was a solid shot that Pirog got him, but it knocked him cold. When people are getting knocked cold with them type of shots, you expect the next time that they're in a tough fight that they can't really take as much of a punch as you would think that they might be able to take. So when I look at that, I thought that Jacobs probably wouldn't progress in his career as far as he has, but after the cancer incident and things, he's got better, he's came back, he's won a world title, etc. He was the first guy to really push Golovkin. A lot of people thought that he was unlucky against Golovkin. I personally didn't. I thought Golovkin did just nick the fight. Jacobs didn't do enough for me to win the fight, but I wouldn't have argued if you had it a round or two either way. Me personally, I think I had it at Golovkin by about 2, 115, 113, if I remember correctly the way that I scored it. So looking at his last few fights against Soyaleki and against Derevianchenko, they were both really good wins. Basically, with Soyaleki, he came quite a brave guy. Jacobs handily outpointed him by about 3 or 4 on most of the cards. Derevianchenko, it was a little bit closer. It was a majority decision, but the majority decision, I think Jacobs probably did just slightly win it a little bit more than the majority decision tells us. So, but yeah, he just seems to be a solid fighter, Jacobs, and he seems to be getting better as well. He seems as though he's still progressing in his career, and he's getting really more clever as a boxer as his career has went on. Canelo, what can we say about Canelo? Personally, I'll just cover off. I did lose a bit of respect for Canelo after all the drugs incident, etc. But he's one of these guys that you're dying to like because he's a phenomenal fighter, really good fighter. But looking at Canelo's career so far is, if you think about Richard Schaefer talking about Canelo years ago when he was just breaking through, one day this guy will fight Mayweather, etc. And you're thinking, and whose planet is it going to fight Mayweather? Because it's not going to be this one. But no, he did. He's got a lot better his career on. I think what we need to remember is, I'm sure Canelo turned pro when he was 15. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was 15, I was collecting things like football stickers and want to go to a shop and get sweets, etc. And this guy's turned professional at 15 and he's fighting men. So I think you kind of have to give him quite a bit of credit. But in his past few fights, he's had the 2 fights with Golovkin. I probably am going to have mixed opinion with this, but the first fight, I thought Golovkin won. I did. I thought it was close, but I thought Golovkin won. The second fight, I actually thought Canelo just beat him. And a lot of people are saying Golovkin won both times. I think Canelo stood with him a lot more. The second fight was more adventurous and he deserved the win. So, sorry, the first one was a draw with Golovkin. I did think Golovkin should have got it, but the second one I thought Canelo was the right winner. And then you've got the moving on in the stoppage win over Rocky Fielding, which I'm not going to pay an awful lot of attention to, purely because Rocky Fielding's solid fighter, done great to win a world championship, but he's not quite at that elite level, with all due respect, but he's accomplished things that we could only wish to accomplish in our life by becoming a world champion. So respect to Rocky Fielding. So on to the prediction for Saturday's fight. I see Canelo winning very wide, or potentially stopping Jacobs late on in the fight. I just think Canelo is getting better and more mature as a fighter. Every time I watch him, I'm thinking, wow. And I never thought I would be like that with Canelo. I always thought power-wise, and we can go in and say, how has he got the power and all that kind of thing, but this probably isn't the time. We can maybe cover that off in another video. But if we look at the facts, his power's got a lot better the longer that he's went in the pro ranks. And he seems to be putting shots together really, really well. Like, he's probably, for me, the most impressive combination puncher in the world. Everything just looks so natural. It looks as though he could do it with his eyes closed. So, no disrespect to Danny Jacobs. The way that I see the fight going is I just see Canelo being that wee step ahead and outpointing him maybe by about 4 or 5 on the cards, or potentially I can see him stopping him late. It depends what Danny Jacobs shows up, because Danny Jacobs is going to need to come, he's going to need to pop on the outside, moving. When Canelo comes in, he's going to need to change the angles, etc. So if Canelo can combat that, and get his distance right and stand off Jacobs, you know the way Canelo will move his body back, but he's ready to pounce with right hand, left hook to the body, right hand again, etc. As long as Canelo can find his range really early in the fight, I don't see Canelo having too many problems. And one of the main reasons I've came to that conclusion is I believe styles make fights, but I believe Canelo is a couple of leagues above Maciej Zielecki, and also a couple of leagues above Sergei Derenchenko. So based on those performances, they were tight fights for Jacobs, and as I say, no discredit, Derenchenko is a really good fighter, Zielecki's a solid fighter, but I just think that everything in Canelo's career, the way that he's done it, he's doing everything at the right time. So for me this weekend, guys, I'm going with, I feel like I should really be consistent here and not say points or stoppage, because that's the only way you really can win a fight. I will say that if Canelo is going to get the stoppage, it will be round about the middle rounds. Anything past the middle rounds, I am going for Canelo wide points, but I would say Canelo wide points is probably more realistic. So, which brings me to one of my favourite bits of the video. We are Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat. I love the work that I do for these guys. We're getting better all the time. If you want to catch our content, you can catch us on Twitter at ESB Repeat. You can catch us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Instagram. We've got lots of great content coming out at the moment, guys. This is just the beginning. A lot of hard-working guys in the background to make us the #1 in the UK, which we are really, really believing one day is going to be very realistic. But for now, build, and my prediction for the weekend is Sal Canelo Alvarez, wide points, late stop, mid-round stoppage. Thank you.